Welcome back to Cabarabia, my monthly rumination on all things relevant to the world of cabaret and the nightclub experience. Every program, I profile and interview the leading performers, composers, musicians, producers, and venue owners, all the people that bring you live performances in intimate settings. And welcome back. Welcome back to my little podcast that could, my monthly rumination on all things relevant to the nightclub experience, live performances in intimate settings. And I am very, very excited for today's show. I've been wanting to do this show for literally 3 years now. I know most of the people that I know and revere. I've known them for decades. And it's very rare that I meet new people in my life that I just really, really take to my heart in a huge way. And about 3 years ago, I crossed paths with the two people who are my guests today. And one of them, the gentleman, Terry Wollman, I had known from afar for a long time. He is a very famous guitarist and record producer and arranger and all that. And I was at Jim Caruso's cast party, which is it's an institution in New York, but he had been doing them out here. Billy Stritch and Jim Caruso had been bringing the show out here to LA. And at this incredible night, there was in the house was Melissa Manchester, Jane Monheit, Megan Hilty. I mean, it was just showstopper singer after showstopper singer. And towards the end of this evening, a woman I'd never seen before got up and sang and blew me away. I mean, to this day, still one of the most amazing singers I've ever heard in my life, Melanie Taylor. So my guests today are Terry Wollman and Melanie Taylor. Hey,
Clifford.
I'm so glad you guys are here. You know that Jim Caruso cast party was 3 years ago, January 17th. I'm very date oriented. Wow. So, and over those 3 years, I've had the great honor of having you in several of my shows and working together on things and coming to see you when you performed places. And then as soon as I met you, I thought, I want to have them to be guests on my show. And today is the day, finally. Yeah. It took a pandemic, but it got us here. Right. Hi, how are you all today?
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. We're
nice to be here.
It's great to see you. It's really great to see you. I miss you, Clifford.
I miss you too. I know. I haven't seen you in person in a while.
I haven't seen anybody in person.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Kinda.
Yeah. The thing about both of you, both of you are extremely accomplished and extremely well known in your individual beings and your individual pursuits, but you also both have careers working with other artists that it reads like the history of the famous musicians. And I got a few pictures here. I first heard of you, Terry, with Melissa Manchester, who is one of my all-time favorite singers. She's one of my heroes.
And mine.
You've worked with her quite a lot. And then I think probably the first time I was actually in a room with you is you played in my friend Kiki Ebsen's band in her Joni Mitchell project. And, Kiki, I would have to include Kiki as probably the third of the three of you, of a person that I have known only for the last few years, but, it feels like a longtime old friend to me now. And so Terry, I know you're close to Kiki as well. And then also one of the first conversations I had with you, Terry, you had told me about a project you had been working on that with just a few newcomers like Dick Van Dyke, Tony Bennett, and Alan Bergman, right? What was that you did?
Well, that was the trifecta for me of producing. It was for a movie called If You're Not in the Obit, Eat Breakfast, an HBO award-winning movie that I had the supreme honor of producing all three of those artists and working with them in the studio and being a part of that movie. It was just so fantastic.
Yeah.
So fantastic. Yeah.
Very exciting. And then Melanie, as I told you, now I want you to know I am given to hyperbole. I will admit that.
I know,
but I'm also I feel like I'm very disciplined about not being a flatterer, not being an idle flatterer. And I try to never say anything I don't deeply and genuinely mean. And I'm telling you, Melanie is one of my favorite singers I've ever heard. She has so much communication and phrasing and musicality and the warmth of her voice and the range of her voice and her interpretation. She's absolutely extraordinary. And but without even falling in love with her that way, I then found out that she has like a resume down her arm and up and down her leg of like working with literally the superstars of the business.
Yeah.
When I first met her, she was on tour, an intermittent tour. You would go in and out of town with Barry Manilow, right? That was a long time gig for you. And then of course, my little gay heart jumps out of my chest with that you're were a harlot. You're one of the legendary harlots. With Bette Midler.
Yeah, that was in. There she is.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm going to share a little.
That was the Katie Kirk or Rosie O'Donnell show. I can't remember which.
Oh, yeah.
That was. Yeah, it was a while back, and we had done like a little. I think that was for the Bootleg Betty tour. It was just like a little.
You did quite a lot of Bette shows, right? You were in quite a few of them. I've seen clips and I've followed along.
Thank you. Yeah, we did 3 tours over the course of 10 years.
Yeah, boy, it was great. What is it? The sorority of harlots is like Charlotte Crosley, Melissa, Katie Segal. I mean, you're in very esteemed company. Jennifer Lewis, of course.
Yes. I have great stories about Jennifer.
I knew Sharon Redd. Did you know her?
I'm sorry?
Did you know Sharon Redd? She was one of the...
I did not. I know. Yeah. I wish I had. She was so... All those women were such an inspiration.
She was on one of the early on. Somebody had given me a big oil painting of Bette Midler's Thighs and Whispers album. And I had it in my living room. And Sharon Redd came over. She was dating my roommate at the time. And she walked in the living room and she went, "Oh, Bette has the living room wall, huh?" It was such a perfect moment. "Oh, Bette has the living room wall." Anyway, and then also I really got filled in the other night. You did a really fun porch concert with your friend Mindy. Mindy Ibera. That was great. You guys sounded awesome.
Thank you.
What a beautiful blend of voices that was. Anyway, I guess you toured with Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, which right? What was that like?
Oh man. Well, my little rock and roll inner rock and roll chick was a little nutty. It was really incredible how it came about. I had toured with John Mayer for about a year, and Steve Jordan was his producer and drummer, and Steve was friends with Joe Perry and Steven Tyler. Anyway, long short, I just got referred for a session, and I didn't really know what it was, but it turned out it was an Aerosmith album, and I did 4 tunes on the album and sang with Steven in the studio doing tracks and stuff. I mean, it all just it was like a fairy tale. I had no idea this was happening. If I had known, I probably would have freaked out, But and then he asked me to go on tour with them, so I did back in 2012 to support Music from Another Dimension.
Wow.
He is incredible. He is the most incredible performer and life force, and just so intense and funny, and just pretty much as you see him. He is so full of life, and he's the ultimate. I love him, I love him. And we text back and forth now and then. And it's so great to see him when I can. Well, I saw him last year. Music Cares was the last time because everything else shifted, right? It was, this is our 1-year anniversary of the shutdown.
It is. A couple of days from now will be the year. The year that
Yes.
the plug she was pulled.
That's right.
We were all sent to our rooms to think about what we have done.
Pretty much.
That's what it feels like, right?
Yeah, totally.
I spent a lot of time being sent to my room. So yeah, that just took me back.
Exactly, right?
Go think about what you just did.
Exactly.
Being on tour, it reminds me of just sitting in your hotel room all day until it's time to go to work.
Right.
Like,
And
I'm
the
used to being
timelessness of
inside,
it. Right.
but it's getting old. Yeah.
Well, it looks like we might be sticking a toe out soon. It seems like, how are you guys doing in the vaccine world? Are you getting close?
No.
I think it's, we're not up yet. I mean, but we're ready and willing and able and waiting our turn patiently and staying safe and mindful in the meantime.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's one of the few things that I'm happy to say I'm too young to be in the first rung of them. So
Same here. We are too.
I'm waiting
It doesn't
to
happen very often,
mature.
but we're too
I'm waiting
young.
to mature. Well, I want to show a video. This was the very first thing that I had the opportunity to do with you. Well, actually, that's probably not true. We did the thing in Glendale first. For anybody who watches this show knows that for now, this will be the 23rd year, I have been having a birthday party to celebrate Barbra Streisand's birthday. And it started as something I just did with a bunch of very fun, creative friends. We, like 10 of us went, in a house, just in the living room, just did Barbra Streisand songs done in some weird, different way than they're usually done for each other's amusement. And it was literally the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. And I just started doing it year after year. I started doing it for charity and started doing it in clubs. And now it's a very, very popular event. It always sells out. And for the last 7 years, I think, I've been doing it exclusively for Project Angel Food, which is the most wonderful organization in the world.
Yeah.
Angelfood.org for anybody that wants to check it out. And the idea behind it is that everybody in show business wants to sing a Barbra Streisand song, but in general, you're sort of steered away from don't sing Barbra Streisand song. Nobody wants to hear you do The Way We Were. But
right.
One day a year, it's okay to do a Barbra song. And so I talked to Terry and Melanie, and they had a couple that they cooked up, and here's them opening. I think this was 3 years ago. I think this was Barbara. Our name is Barbara 3 years ago.
Please welcome to the stage Terry Wollman and Melanie Taylor.
Feeling love, that's all. I see faces covered up in empty spaces where there used to be a soul inside. Nothing and no one ever gets to them. Seems a wind could blow right through them. Believing in gods that never knew them. I believe in love. I believe in love. Do you? I believe in feeling good. Yeah, and I'm feeling love. Feeling love is feeling good. Worry, climbing up your money tree. You got to hurry. Monkey do, a monkey see. Now you're on a one-way street. You're speeding, missing the signs you should be reading, passing things you'll later be needing. I believe in love. I believe it, nobody sold me. Always knew it, nobody told me. I believe in someone to hold me. I believe in love, yes. I believe in love, I do. I believe in feeling good, yeah, yeah. And I'm feeling love. Feeling love is feeling good. Love, feeling love is feeling good. Oh, never be lonely. sleeping in an empty bed shouldn't be only just a place to rest my head now. Cause I don't wanna find myself one day waking up and looking at Monday with some what's his name left from Sunday. I believe in love. I believe it, nobody sold me, always knew it, nobody told me. I believe in someone to hold me, I believe in love. I believe in love. I do, I do, I do. I believe in feeling good. Everybody should believe in feeling good. Believe it.
That was a good way to start, right?
Yay! See what I mean?
So much fun. It was so much fun.
And that's an up-tempo. Wait till you get to a ballad. Oh my God, you're going to die when you hear her. All right. So, so we've all been in lockdown now for about 365 days almost. And what's that like? At least the two, I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but you two are a romantic couple. You've been together a long time. And
we're married.
And interestingly enough, you sort of surprised everybody. I guess it was about a year and a half ago now, right? One day you just sort of started, you put on Facebook, hey, what? Guess what?
We're married.
Andrew, will you hit us with that pic? Yeah, you guys did it
right.
So out of the blue. What bit you to take the jump?
Terry, would you like to tell him?
Yeah, I just adore Melanie. I love her, and we've been a couple for a long time, and have this beautiful relationship, and life is short, and I just said, let's do this. Let's get married.
Yeah.
It was pretty simple, really. We've been together for a minute, and also I had been working so much and traveling so much that when he proposed, I was like, we have to do this now. And it was, as usual, I do things really quickly. I'm not impulsive, but I love a deadline. You know what I mean?
Right. You had been together a while. A long while.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, about 10 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had, but things had kind of escalated with my job and stuff. And it was kind of like, we should do this now. We shouldn't wait. There's no point in having a year-long engagement or what have you, because in a way, we'd maybe been engaged for 10 years almost.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But I was on tour and I kind of felt it coming, like there wasn't going to be a big window.
Right.
And
there's
there
a
wasn't.
window of time. Right.
That's right. So we literally planned it in 3 months.
Yeah.
And it nearly was a lot.
And didn't talk about it a lot, to my knowledge. It was a surprise to me. I'm far enough out of your circle that I wasn't the first to know, but still, I don't think a lot of people knew until you did it, right? So it was a small wedding.
It was a small wedding, just our immediate family. My two brothers and niece flew in from Miami, which is where I'm from, born and raised, and Melanie's immediate family, and just in our friend's backyard with another friend, Cabarabia McChesney, playing violin for us, and Patty Linsky officiated, who's a cantor and a dear friend. I used to conduct the choir for her in Temple for High Holy Days. She brought me in that world as a choral director. But it was great. It was really intimate and very, very special.
It was.
So the thing that made me want to talk about you guys having been married recently, because that was like, for some reason, I think it was like September-ish. Is that right?
Yeah. It was August 2019.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have such a good memory.
You have a really good memory. I had to think about it like.
So it wasn't, so it wasn't that much longer that we got thrown into 24 hours a day. Here's the only person you're ever going to see again for the rest of your life.
Right.
So,
for 2 years.
how has that been being, in not solitary confinement, but duality confinement with each other?
I'm grateful. Because I've spent many periods of my life being isolated and alone, being single and being focused on practicing and writing and all the things that I do. So to not have to go through a pandemic alone is really a blessing for me. It's also an interesting time in our relationship because we've never spent this much consecutive time together. And it's kind of fascinating. I mean, it's fun. There's nobody else I'd rather do it with. We're definitely kind of bumping into each other, because it's not a huge place that we live in, and with both of us working at home and me recording at home, like I think with anybody, we do kind of look at each other every once in a while and go, do you want to go someplace? Think you want to take a walk or something? Or,
right.
Or I'm going to go, So, we make sure to plan fun things with each other. We've been cooking for each other almost every night. Yeah. I mean,
pretty much every
night. Yeah. And, and of course, going down the Netflix rabbit hole and everything together is fun. And but I'm getting out and going on really long walks and bike rides since I can't get to the gym, and that's kind of a good period for me to be reflective and get a little alone time as well. But it's great,
and it's so great that you guys can make music together, though. I mean, that's so enviable to have that with each other.
Yeah, it's fun.
And you record together. I mean, both of you record.
Yeah, we do. I get a lot of calls to demo or record other writers' work.
Vocal sessions.
Vocal sessions. Yeah, I do a lot of vocal sessions. I think last week we did one for Dave, our dear friend Dave Polich, who I met working with David Foster. He's a great writer, and I think I've done like 5 of his tunes. So we did one for him last week. That brings me up to about 35, I think.
Wow.
And and Terry is such a good sport. I mean, he knows everything about recording and engineering that I don't know and don't need to know, because there are people who do it way better than me, and I don't want to get into that learning curve. I'll just mess it up.
Yeah.
I'd much rather collaborate like you with Andrew and your other producing and engineering partners. Let's just I like to stay in my lane. You know what I mean?
It's always weird to me when people are competitive about things that way, because I'm like, oh, Andrew, here, you do it.
Totally. I'm the same way.
Andrew, this 100%. Is something you can do. Please just do this. And so I don't have to think about it, because I don't want to have to think about it.
And for
Andrew, for anybody who doesn't know, Andrew is my co-producer and handles all the tech involved in everything.
Yeah.
One of the things for me as an artist that fortunately has paid off in this pandemic year of being isolated and not being able to congregate with people is as an artist, I've needed to learn how to record on my own remotely. And this room that I'm sitting in right now is where I compose and I mix. Even from the HBO movie, the Dick Van Dyke song that I arranged and produced and played on, that we recorded at Capitol Studios, we actually mixed it in this room for the movie. So this is a pro level room in our house. It doesn't have to be big to be world class. But it's been so beautiful that we've still been able to be creative and productive and sort of encourage each other and push each other a little bit to be inspired to create music. Because again, it took a minute to get in gear to do it in the isolation, to not be in a room with the people that we are used to collaborating with live on stage or live in a recording studio.
That is going to be one of the interesting things when the pandemic restrictions end or taper off, is it's going to be how much all this remote learning informs how things are done from now on. Because certainly one of the benefits of everything that everybody's established at being able to do remotely is you can use players from all over the world.
That's right.
Without traveling, without the expense of that, without the hassle of that, without the time involved in that,
That's right.
You can get a famous person that wouldn't give you 5 days, but they'll give you 2 hours.
And Terry has.
Yeah.
He's recorded with people like Bob James, Nathan East,
Najee,
Najee, all these amazing people who, frankly, are sitting at home just like we are.
Right. Looking to be
looking
creative.
around like, well, I guess I'll just, I mean, even like speaking about my boss, my hair, I'm so sorry, my hair's acting crazy. This is what happens when you can see yourself, everybody. I'm so sorry.
Melody's done everything to not be on camera. She keeps saying, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to be on camera. I'm begging her to be on camera.
It takes a village. Anyway. But yeah, we're all sitting at home. I think about Barry. He's home, writing music and working on stuff. And, I hope he's writing a book because he's got a lot to say always. Mm-hmm. We all are sitting at home, everybody, so you do have access to people and people are kind of like, call me if you need anything because I'm just sitting here. And it's so hilarious. But I think, I love what you said. I've gone back to work 3 times since March 9th. My last session a year ago, I don't know what day it is because it's same as it ever was. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, it's a Groundhog's Day. I think it's the 9th, but my last
Today
session
is actually March 9th. The day we're filming this is March 9th.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, right. So my last session before lockdown was today, March 9th, a year ago, 2020, with Mindy, my girl, for her next record that's coming out, I think in September. Mm-hmm. And
with Mindy Abair, you're right.
That's right, Mindy Abair, who you mentioned earlier, and Dearest,
beautiful
my
singer.
sister friend. That's right, and sax player. Mm-hmm. And then I did a session, and after that, the next time I was out of the house on stage was the end of August last year.
Tumbleweeds.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot. That was a rough summer, I'm not going to lie. And we did an outdoor drive-in concert, which I wish people would do more. It feels very safe. Everyone literally drives in, they sit in their cars, and they honk their horns and flash their lights instead of applauding. And it's kind of awesome, really, and everything is sort of self-contained. And then I did Carrie Underwood's Christmas special, which, thank you, SAG-AFTRA. I love my union. Their protocols are incredible. They have a whole protocol set up and testing and everything else, keeping the sets clean and safe. And we did her special in November. And I did one session, a private session for a producer, a songwriter, and we were all, me and 2 other gals, were in separate booths, you see. So there's a great studio in the Valley. Terry, what's that studio that you were just
Hideaway.
there?
The
Hideaway. Thank you. And
right, I just did my first actual on-site session on Sunday.
Right.
That's like a vocal session. Yeah. First time in a year that I've been to a studio.
Wow.
Totally COVID safe, though.
Yeah, it was great.
And it's just, we all had our own booths. We come in with a mask on and stuff. So there's ways, there's workarounds, there's protocols, there's, ways to work through this, and we have. And going forward, like you were saying about recording remotely and stuff, I think that now that we've literally done this for a year, at least now we have an option. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
We need to get back to Capitol and record, but hey, if we can't get to Capitol, at least we know that we've honed the skills and we've pivoted. We know how to do things differently now. And as hard as it's been, as challenging as it's been, made something out of it.
Yeah. We were also just laughing before we were on camera. We were talking about how, previous to the pandemic, we live very similar lives of that. I don't think I spent 3 hours in my apartment ever.
Right.
Literally.
Unless you're sleeping.
I was unless you're sleeping, and barely even 3 hours doing that. But I work in San Diego a lot. I work in Palm Springs a lot.
You're always moving.
I've always done 7 or 8 cabaret shows a month, always. I'm very prolific, so I'm always 1 foot out the door, and busy, become myself very busy. You were always in and out of town. Terry had a million projects, blah, blah, blah. But then when the pandemic tells you to stop, and it's like the law of physics, stop. It's like, all of a sudden it's like, can I just sit and watch a movie? How can I, what the energy it takes to sit and watch a movie, and then once there's things to do again, to get that stamina up again, when all of a sudden, we've started putting things back in our schedule, and it's like, I do a couple hours of something and I just have to rest, now
Same.
during
100%.
this.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been really interesting physically and also sort of psychically, like working that out. Like
Right.
like Terry will tell you that if I have to go somewhere, I kind of have to think about it. Like, okay,
Right.
I'm going to Whole Foods, then I'm going to Target. I
Right.
got the mask, I got the this and and okay, am I comfortable? Like, did I take a shower today? I can't even remember. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But we've had to really.
But we're learning the new rhythms, all the new rhythms.
Yeah. I'm grateful that we're all still here.
Yes, all still here
To learn
and
together.
and still evolving. Everything's still evolving, and we're
Although one thing, excuse me for interrupting, one thing
No,
that
go
Melanie's
ahead.
been doing that's been very entertaining for me, and I know for a lot of other people,
Oh, gosh.
is Corona Couture.
yes, I've
Getting
seen
dressed
those.
up and posting outfits.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she's got some good ones. Oh my God. Yeah,
Today I'm rocking. I guess I can. Show
you're
you.
rocking some animal
I have
print.
pants on. And
Oh,
camo.
look at you. Yeah, nice. Yeah, she. That's all on your Instagram, right?
That's on my Instagram at the real Melanie Taylor, and
Yeah.
then it's also on Facebook.
Oh yeah, we're going to post all that here.
Okay.
Speaking of which, so now let's talk it to you individually a little bit. We've been a couples clutch so far, but I want to talk about Terry. Terry's got a new album coming out, but before we talk about the new album, let's just run all the ways people can check you out and contact you, Terry. So you got your website. TerryWollman.com.
Absolutely. TerryWollman.com, which is a great portal to get to everything that I do. Here's the new album that I just released called Cassini's Last Dance.
Yeah, we're gonna play a cut from that in just a second.
And this will also give you links to my podcast and various projects and even ways to find me, to collaborate. But also my Instagram is at Terry Wollman. Alec,
There you go.
You're right with me, a step ahead of me.
There it is.
Yep.
And then you do a podcast that you've been doing for quite a long time. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have over 150 episodes of audio podcast, and then there are also some video simulcast in addition to that. I started a little bit over 3 years ago. My first artist who I interviewed was Melissa Manchester, and then the second people that I interviewed were Alan and Marilyn Bergman. And then it was, I very deliberately set the bar as high as possible. And then it's been quite a journey. It's been really fun. The show is called Making It with Terry Wollman, and it's about the creative process. It's about creating and maintaining a career in the music business. And it's also about integrity and passion and the journey of an artist. And I have some really cool news to share with you. And by the way, you can hear them anywhere you hear a podcast, Spotify and iHeart and iTunes and all the various places, as well as EnterTalk Media, which is the network that I've been with. But I just got invited to join a very new, exciting podcast network. And this is the first announcement that I'm making on it. And I'll be starting
breaking news,
soon.
like CNN. Breaking news.
It really is. I was invited by Fallon Fatami and Mark Cuban, who are the co-founders and CEOs of a new podcast network called Fireside. And they asked me if I would bring my show to their network. And we had a few conversations, and I said yes. And I'm going to be broadcasting with them probably starting in the next couple of weeks. And I'm very excited. It's new technology. It's interactive. People can join in live and be a live audience during these conversations and participate. And then also, of course, they'll be archived at all the same places wherever you enjoy hearing podcasts. But I probably the same for you, Clifford, because you're a host as well. I love having these conversations because I feel like I have a front row seat to really hearing the stories of artists,
Right.
and business people, not just musicians,
Right.
but actors and music attorneys and publicists and radio promoters and various different aspects of the creative world, just to really see what their process is, not just how they made it, but what that actual journey is all about, the journey.
Right. It's a delicious treat I think, whatever else I do or pursue is very separate from the joy that I get from talking to people and, hearing people who I admire and, am inspired by, and getting to learn about them and what they've done and what they do and how it happened. And, it's very rewarding to do this, I think.
Yeah, it is. And just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I interviewed Verdine White of Earth, Wind and Fire, co-founder of Earth, Wind and Fire, and Shelley Clark White, his wife from the Honeycomb, and same thing as you were talking to us. I was speaking to them in their home and just learning about their remarkable lives and the philanthropy and the creativity and how how they're holding up as well. It was just a remarkable conversation.
Right. Well, very exciting.
Clifford, are you going to do the Barbra Streisand benefit this year? I was wondering how because you are so prolifically out there in the community producing and putting on shows. Like, how have you been able to, I know I'm interviewing you now, but I got to ask.
Really?
I want to know.
This is Melanie's podcast now.
We're friends. And you're my friend. I want to know.
Indeed.
Like, I think about that so much because you are so active, and I just wonder how you see yourself going forward. Like, it's only March, so do you have anything planned?
Well, the bigger question I'll say is that I did very little because I was very COVID conscious. I did not want to get sick, and I did not want to die, and I didn't want anybody else I knew to get sick or die.
Yes.
So I was very, very, very conscious at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And finally, after a long enough period of time, my friend Michael Collum, who is a very wonderful pianist, said, I'm going to go out of my skull if I don't make music. He said, we got to find a way to do something. So he had a nice house, and we said, let's do something in the backyard, and we won't have an audience. We'll do it in the backyard. We'll get people to film it. And and we had little cabaret shows. And the first one was Charlotte Crosley, and the second one was Rena Strober, who's a Broadway girl with a lot of credits.
Rena.
And
I've worked with Rena.
Terry's a really good
wonderful talent. And Mary Bogue, who's a real character and a wonderful singer. And
great.
Then we filmed one this weekend with Julie Garnier, who's got, was in Come From Away, the tour. And
love her.
Les Miserables at the Oscars when they did that big number. She was featured in that. And Alex Mohajer is this guy that's an amazing singer, one of my favorite male singers. And Katrina Aguilar, the woman we hosted the autism benefit for.
Sure, yeah. She's lovely. So
and so we filmed these little shows. I have Andrew, my co-producer, and Mark Saltarelli, who's a very close friend of mine, who's a filmmaker. And so we do it with broadcast quality film, and and we push his grand piano to the side porch, and we sing to the backyard, and we've done 3 of those in a year, and and then I had quit doing. I'd been doing my podcast in a studio, the Global Voice Broadcasting, for about 7 years, and they closed that physical space. They closed the studio down.
Right.
And so Andrew and I got together, and we sort of revamped and filmed a new opening. And I come to Andrew's studio here, and we resurrected, and I've done about 7 or 8 podcasts over the last year, and we did one out at Kiki Ebsen's ranch. She lives on a ranch with 15 horses, and great. It's like
I need to get out there and play with those horses.
Oh God, it was so fun. It was so great. I bet. And but now here's the Barbra question. So I've done very little, but the things I've done have been very safe and very fulfilling. In fact, when I first called Julie, who keeps herself extremely busy, she teaches voice, and she's always singing demos and stuff like that. And, I wasn't sure if she would do my little backyard cabaret. And I said, would you be interested in doing this? And she said, oh, my God, I can't wait. She goes, you mean I can sing with a live piano?
I know.
Because, I don't think Zoom works, in terms of enjoyment, I think in terms of entertainment, it's not the same thing.
But we're very fortunate that we live in California, where the weather is hospitable enough to do something like that.
That you can.
Exactly. God bless the people in Chicago and stuff.
Exactly.
They can't even begin to think about that till April.
Yeah.
You know.
I did not. Last year, remember when we were shut down in March, they were still going kind of a few weeks at a time, like, oh no, nothing, May. And I had the Barbara party slated for May 3rd. Barbara's birthday is April 24th, but the only date I could get at the time was May 3rd. So March came and maybe we can do it, and April came and maybe we can do it, and May came, and I was like, we can't do it. So couldn't do last year, which broke my heart. And then this year I've been thinking, should I do something online? And I can't do Zoom. It's like Meryl Streep and Christine Baranski and Audra McDonald, they can pull off that. That was hilarious. But
that was awesome.
In general, great singing doesn't come off well on Zoom, I don't think. So I was thinking I'll get Catalina's and no audience and one band that stays in place far away from each other, and then singers can come in and we'll film and it'll go online. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do that. And then the other day I'm walking down the street and I run into Manny, the manager of Catalina's.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
I've known Manny for probably 30 years, and I've never once run into him on the street. And so I ran into him on the street and I said, I'm thinking about doing this. Would you be interested? And he said, absolutely. Let's do it. You got to do it.
Cool.
And then that was about a week ago. And then last night at midnight, I checked my messages and Manny had called and said, Clifford, set the date. So maybe I will.
Yay.
I don't know. I'm not fully committed, but I maybe I will. So
you can
thank you for asking. It's always good. And the money will go to Project Angel Food, which we love.
Yeah.
And so, Terry, I did want to talk about your new CD. Anything you want to tell us about it before we watch this beautiful video you made?
There it is. Okay. I was encouraged to create an acoustic album during the pandemic, something that I would be able to do here in this room without going anyplace. And the obvious way to do that was acoustically. So I wrote some new music. I also remastered some other songs that I had previously released, and then actually pulled a few things from the vault that I'd never released as well. And the title song, Cassini's Last Dance, I wrote basically inspired by a visit that Melanie and I had to JPL Engineering, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, where we just, by good fortune, happened to be there in the final week of when the Cassini project was ending. And if you don't know what that is, go look it up. But it was this beautiful 20-year project of documenting with photographs Saturn and developing new technology. And it was just incredible. And we were there watching the final days of it. And it really moved me. And by the time we were leaving to walk out to the car, title Cassini's Last Dance, and I knew I needed to write a song about it. And it turned into the title track for this record, which also, which is released digitally. And what I was holding up are digital download cards, which I'm actually signing and sending.
Oh, right.
If anybody wants an actual physical memento of the album, you can also hear it on Spotify and anywhere you can hear music. But I wanted to make some digital download cards with the artwork so that I could actually sign them and send them to people if they were interested. But and then I was encouraged to do a video as well. And I basically just stayed open and said yes to it. And I did it. There were 4 people involved in making this video because we needed to be safe. Melanie was one of my cinematographers. I also, she did the sunset part of the recording. The sunrise, I was kind enough to not ask her to get up at 5 a.m. to go do the sunrise filming with me. So one of our neighbors, Dave Huff, volunteered to do that. We all did it safely. And then my graphic designer, photographer, who makes all the beautiful covers for my albums and website, had this idea of doing a video. And she basically said, go do this footage. Here's what I want you to do. Walk out by the beach, take your guitar, play the music, and just film, and she gave a little more direction, but we did that. And she said, I'm going to make a video. And this is what happened.
It's beautiful.
Great. Let's watch it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yay!
Thank you.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
Nicely done with the minimal crew.
A little bit different musically, direction-wise for me. More meditative than I typically would release, but totally appropriate. I felt like I needed to do something and wanted to do something that would hopefully lift people, bring a little sense of joy and calm.
And I don't care what anybody says. There's literally probably nothing more magical than the water.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
The water just so healing. Just to even see pictures of it.
Always for me, and having grown up in Miami on the water, it even more so.
You guys live fairly close to the beach now, don't you?
We do.
I think of you down there all the time. I see you down there.
We're very happy to have that outdoor space to, go walk, obviously, and just to have that calming influence, that energy around us. So we're really lucky. Yeah.
And now, Terry, there's another project that you were able to do during this year, inspired by this year. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was actually inspired by the presidential election and all of the discourse and that has been going on in our country. I felt that I really wanted to play my part and do anything I could to encourage and empower everybody to get out and vote. And so I co-wrote a song called Beautiful Sound of Us, and ended up basically producing a video. I somehow became a video producer, which I'd never done before, but it was so important to me to do this. It was basically, I did this with a new artist named Ray Jupiter and Donald Webber Jr., who is from the Broadway cast of Hamilton, who I had met about 2 years ago in New York working on another film with the same documentary makers as the HBO movie that I had done previously. And I had co-produced a song and played guitar on it and was in New York and had met Donald Webber Jr. So I asked if he would be a part of it as well. And he recorded for me remotely. We basically had done the track remotely as well. Melanie and I stacked vocals here for all the background vocal parts. And then once Donald had recorded his vocal, he said, we should do a video. And I said, yes, I totally agree. I know exactly what I want to do. What do you think? And we both had the same vision. So we made it happen and we did it quickly. There are over 33 artists, including Melissa Manchester, Cheryl Benteen, Melanie, and other artists from around the country and even from around the world who basically all showed up and very graciously became a part of this video. And we put it out there and it's on my YouTube channel and various places. But I'm really proud of all of us for doing this. Yeah. I was so, Melanie would probably agree. I wouldn't even say I was motivated. I was obsessed.
Right.
I had to get this song.
Well, it was a very important election. My God.
Yeah.
Bated breath every minute of every day.
Yeah.
Well, it's fantastic. Let's watch it.
Okay.
Yo, listen, I finally see someone who looks like me standing proud and strong on my TV, saying it's no mystery we can change the course of history with our passion and integrity. Be assured, it's time for our voices to be heard.
Crashing fences, tearing down the walls. We are a chain of love that connects us all. Can you hear the call? The most beautiful sound of us. Most beautiful sound of us.
Yo, Yo, lifting up the veil, and revealing all the lies, as we dedicate this moment to exercise the power and privilege that every person has. Oh yeah. If we vote, then we won. And we're ready for the change that has begun. We're ready.
Crushing fences, tearing down the walls.
Tearing down the walls.
We're a chain of love that connects us all. Can you hear the cool, most beautiful sound of us? Most beautiful sound of us. Most beautiful sound of us. Most beautiful sound of us.
Our voices will be heard.
To my left, to my right, see the love, the beautiful sound of
Listen, can you hear it? It's bigger than you or me. There's enough of us to make a difference. But we're nothing without you. You may feel like your voice is not important, but it's more important than ever. Without your voice, we're nothing. We need you. We need you. We need your voice. Our future, it needs us. You deserve this. We deserve a time for us to shine. A time to come together and unite. Our future is bright if we rise to the occasion for our generation and future generations and vote. Yes, not just you, not just me.
Most beautiful sound.
Us.
Yay! That's fantastic. Oh my
Thank
God,
you,
that's so
Clifford.
great.
That
So
that
beautiful.
moved me so much to do that, and the fact that all of these beautiful artists and Powell Robinson, the editor who put this together for me with me, I'm just so moved by everybody's participation. It's so important. By the way, "Beautiful Sound of Us," I co-wrote it with Lilloette Fox and Ray Jupiter, the female singer in the video.
Yeah, it's beautifully done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about Melanie a little bit.
Yeah.
Hi, Melanie. Let's start with your Instagram. So
Okay.
you're gardening your Instagram now, right?
Yeah,
What-
yeah.
what's it?
This is my artist page at The Real Melanie Taylor.
The Real Melanie Taylor. All
Yeah.
right.
And there's a link there to my website. And yeah, follow me there. And I post fairly regularly about just my artistic and creative endeavors and things I'm thinking about, some musing, some tips on performing. Since we've been locked down for a year, people are really interested in like flashback photos and stories about what I've done in the business and stuff. So it's a little bit
Right.
of everything involving that kind of creative life.
And I have we did something, the last time we did something over a year ago now, you sent me a picture that you had just gotten that was super cute.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I got to show
Oh
that.
my gosh, that's fun. This picture was taken by Ryan Hunt Photography. He's a great photographer in New York. I shot with him when I was there with Barry Manilow on Broadway in the summer of 2019. And he got some really fun images. So I'm happy to share those with you. And you can see more on my Instagram, which I think we have here too. It's
Yeah,
at The Real.
we're putting that up on the screen. But I didn't
okay.
put your website. What's your website?
So my website is MelanieTaylorArtist.com.
Excellent.
Yeah, and my Instagram is The Real Melanie Taylor, at
Right.
The Real Melanie Taylor.
I found, I went down the YouTube hole one night at 4 in the morning and found this incredible clip. I love Bette Midler, of course. Well, it's hard to be a stereotype, but
all right, we all love her.
But I'm telling you, I go down that same rabbit hole.
I know. I love that about
I go
you.
look at final videos of Melanie with Bette and Barry and Aerosmith and everybody. It's great. John Mayer, really fun.
And I was
crazy.
listening to "Do You Want to Dance," which I actually just love as a song. So I was listening to like 7 or 8 versions of "Do You Want to Dance," and all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Why, that's Melanie!" And you're like right there at the camera, and I'm like, "That's Melanie." So I wanted to share. I just want to share this because it's such
my
a treat.
Harlette days.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there she is. I've worked for many years with Katie Segal, and she, of course, was an early harlot, and she said Bette Midler used to say, "And these are my backup girls." Backup girls.
Yeah. Back up. Always.
It's funny too, because Katie would say that she got Married with Children, Peg Bundy, on the heels of having just done the Harlette tour. She said that she felt like she got that character came from having been a harlot. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, the harlot legacy is really strong. We call it the Divine Sisterhood.
Right.
And there's so many. I think there are almost 30 women who've done it now. Around 30, 28 or 30 of us. Well, it's always 3. But Luther Vandross was one of the original, the OG harlots behind the scenes singing with Melissa, and I can't remember who at the time. So that's a little trivia there for those of you who don't know. Yeah,
exactly.
So those vocals were always so rich and fun to sing, and just a gas to be a part of it. What can I say?
I first saw Bette Midler like way before she was super famous. They came on tour to where I grew up, Portland, Oregon, and in high school, and I was a sophisticated teen, I guess, that we knew to go. And Barry Manilow opened the second act with a little set, and the girls, the harlots, came out in caftans and sang "Could It Be the Magic?" And
oh my God.
And he played the piano for her the rest of the show, and oh my God, it was just genius. And
it's pretty interesting to have worked with both of them, I have to say.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
I think I have a unique kind of perspective because of that.
Yeah.
And they, oh man, if you had told me when I was a kid that would be my life, I
Right.
choreographed dances to Barry Manilow songs in high school because I have a dance
Right.
degree for no apparent reason. I have a
Right.
dance and theater and acting kind of degree from Cal State Fullerton. Go Titans! But
You
yeah,
went to Cal State. I used to teach at Cal State Fullerton.
how about
I taught
that?
musical
Really?
theater there.
I didn't know
loved
that.
it there.
Oh,
Yeah.
after my time, I think I got a couple of years on you.
20 years, 30 years after your time. I'm sure.
Yeah, but yeah. So I choreographed dances to Bandstand. We're going hopping today, and other songs.
Yeah.
And then of course, like you love Bette Midler. My favorite album is like Songs from the New Depression. I think I know
Yeah.
it's obscure, but it's my favorite. So quirky and kind of cabaret and Kurt Weill and all that stuff. So yeah, to have worked with both of them, masters at their craft, I feel so fortunate. I've learned so much from them. Can't even tell you.
Well, geniuses both. I mean,
Yeah.
of a certain type of music that,
Yeah.
isn't made that much anymore. So now, Melanie, you have a solo album out already, right?
Yeah, I did too. I've done a couple, not very many. I haven't
done a
done a
couple?
lot of recorded music that people can buy, but about 20 years ago, I did a Christmas album that is perennial for obvious reasons, and we loved making it. We want to do it again, or at least with a couple of bonus tracks. Terry has been talking to me about doing that, so that might be something we'll do this year, the
Right.
20th anniversary of that. And then a few years ago, I did a record called The Road I'm On.
Right.
And that was sort of to commemorate my journey, but also I had a deadline. I told you I work really well with a deadline. And Dave Koz, our friend Dave Koz, had invited me to go on his smooth jazz cruise. And so, I needed product to bring with me and to promote and stuff like that. So we gathered up some tracks and made some new stuff and cobbled together some stuff that I'd done. And it was really a thrill to put that out. And so going forward, we'll see. I've got some ideas that I've shared with you guys about.
Yeah,
maybe
we
doing
talked a little
Yeah.
bit about the pandemic has created maybe perhaps the seed of inspiration that you guys might work on something new.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah.
And Melanie, you work beautifully under a deadline, and that was a crazy
Thank you.
deadline. We got that record done in less than a month, I believe.
Correct. Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah,
But you did it.
we did.
So
it.
and you're also a writer, which I have one excellent example of that I want to play a clip of. But tell me a little bit about that. Your history of
My
writing.
songwriting? I went through a really rich period of writing with a couple of friends. One, Larry Cohn, who's an amazing pianist and composer. And this particular song was written literally on my way to Vegas, the song that you're going to play for everyone. Barry started a residency in Vegas in 2005. And I used to drive. Sometimes I'd fly, sometimes I'd drive. I kind of like the drive. It's you and the cactus and the coyotes and the black
Right,
helicopters,
exactly.
and you're just sort of, driving down that long road. And Terry and I had just kind of been dating for a little while, and I was really inspired. I was thinking about him. I was missing him a little bit probably. And this song just came to me, and I had a legal pad on the passenger seat. So, I'd pull over to get gas and I'd write some down, or, I'd like sing into my phone. So this is a song kind of about that time, and it's called Something Wrong.
Yeah, and it's so inspired. It's so clever and such an
Thanks.
inspired lyric. Terry, you should be very flattered to have been the muse for this.
I am.
And I just love this, and I love this performance too. It's like Kiki and I hosted a benefit for an autism project, and it turned out to we did it in the afternoon, in the morning actually, like a noon brunch kind of a thing at Feinstein's at Vitello's, and with incredible musicians, Stefan Oberoff and Terry and Paul Morin on bass and Tom Bow on drums, and
That's great.
Kiki and I hosted, and Katrina Aguilar, who's a young woman with autism, who's quite a wonderful singer, and to this day, it's like one of the most meaningful day. I've done thousands of benefits. It's not like it's the first time I've ever done anything charitable, but there was something about the vibe of that day that was very
It was a
magical
beautiful
day.
Both on stage and in the audience, the collective of people. There,
Absolutely.
we were all aligned. Yeah.
It was very
And
special.
I do want to take the second to say it was an organization that was run by Joanne Lara, who was a longtime friend of Kiki's, who had dedicated her life to autism.
Yeah.
And tragically, she has died since then. She's passed from breast cancer earlier this year.
So sad.
Earlier last year, and during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And there was a Zoom memorial for her, and it was one of the most moving things I've ever seen, because just person after person after person just poured their heart out about how much this woman had impacted their life. All these families with children that had autism that Joanne had just dedicated herself so selflessly to for years.
Right.
And she was very, very special. And that day was all for Joanne. So anyway, here's a fabulous song that Melanie wrote.
Shh. You make me wanna spin till I'm dizzy. That cutoff was for them, not you. Laugh till I cry. Shine like a diamond and live till I die. My guru, my rock star, my magical man. You got me thinking and believing I can leap from tall buildings so high, superhero style. Sing like Fitzgerald, shooby-dooby-doo, maybe blow a horn like Miles. Yeah, baby. My guru, my rock star, my medicine man. You got me thinking and believing I can. Hey, say, my best friend is scandalized. She says that I lost my grip. She said, baby, you lost your grip. What? Somehow, baby, you just figured how to flip my script. So she shouldn't trip. Let's gorge on dark chocolate. Get drunk on champagne. Whee! Shoplift at Tiffany's. Yeah, I said it. Get naked in the rain. Clearly I'm crazy, but your juju's so strong. You make me wanna do something wrong, something wrong. My best friend is scandalized. She says that I lost my grip. She said, baby, you lost your grip. What? Somehow, baby, you just figured how to flip my script. So I don't care if she trips. Who cares? I wanna surf a tsunami, fly to the moon, walk through Death Valley in the middle of June, indulge like Elvis, deface a Monet, have passionate kisses in the middle of the day. Life was so short until he came along. My mojo is working and my vibe is so strong. I'm high and I'm hooked. You played me like a song. You make me wanna do, make me wanna, woo, make me wanna, make me wanna, make me wanna, make me wanna do something wrong.
Terry Wollman and Melanie Taylor, with Stefan Oberoff at the piano. Yeah.
Yay.
Isn't that a great song?
That's a fun
Thank
I
song.
love
you.
that lyric.
Thank you. I have to
Yeah, I
mention that
said
it's
it.
also co-written
Shoplift
by...
at Tiffany's. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, right.
Sing like Ella. Shabba-dabba-dabba.
Shibby-dibby-doo.
Shibby-doo. Yeah.
I just
Oh
want
my
to
God,
mention
it's so
that, great
great.
memory, by the way, that song was co-written by my dear friend Migueli. I gave him the lyric and I gave him my idea, which was sort of Ricky Lee Jones meets Donald Fagen's comic Curiad, and make it funny. And it's funny, you know.
Yeah,
I like
it's
it. Kind of
adorable.
tongue in
It's
cheek.
such a
So
great
thank you.
song, such
Thanks,
a clever
Migueli.
song.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now as the pandemic is as we're rounding a year, and hopefully, I do think things are going to start changing a little bit.
Yeah.
I do know that you guys stay in action with your recording studio. You've got a on-premises recording studio, and you're both available, and people can reach you through your websites, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of sessions and remote recording, and
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Melanie, you coach voice as well, right?
So yeah, I do
Performance.
artist coaching, sort of like singing for acting for singers, and
Right.
I know a lot of great technique teachers. I do a little technique with you with breath work and various things and placement. But my joy and my passion is the story in your song, and sort of helping you to shape and create your intention and your storytelling, and how to use your voice dynamically to do that. We can do audition prep. We can do anything at all that involves, your song. And you can reach me through Instagram or through my website. You can DM me on Instagram at @TheRealMelanieTaylor, and I do a free consultation for you, and then we work out rates or a plan and a schedule that works for you. And yeah, that's about it. I'm also an audiobook narrator, and I do some writing. I write copy for websites and various things. And yeah, just staying busy, and also recording. Obviously, Terry and I record here at home, and so let us know. I do vocal arranging and consultations and all sorts of things. Anything involving creativity in the voice, I'm always passionate about that.
And as I'm about to show in one more clip, just the most amazing singer ever, I'm just going to say. And I really do want to repeat what I said earlier, because it's not something that happens every day. That Jim Caruso's cast party, which is just, one of the most fun things in the world, Jim and Billy Stritch throw the greatest party that all these celebrities come to, and it's the level of talent is astronomical.
Yeah.
And so that night in a room where it was the greatest singer of all time, Melissa Manchester, and Jane Monheit, one of the most beautiful voices of all time, and Megan Hilty, one of the greatest belters of all time, and Joanne Worley, one of the greatest musical comedians of all time. Just showstopper after showstopper after showstopper. For me, the night was all about when Melanie sang a quiet little ballad with so much nuance and so much musicality and so much warmth and so much intimacy. It was so gorgeous. And
thank you.
It's funny, when I finally talked to you and got to know you, you said that you had begun your career as a dancer. That's really that being a singer is a secondary pursuit to you. I think that's so
Isn't that
interesting.
amazing? That's
it really
incredible
is
to me.
Yeah, I didn't choose it. It chose me.
That's so fascinating.
I always sang, in concert choir and chamber singers, madrigals, people call it madrigals, or musical theater. My whole life I did musical theater. Right. But I never identified as a singer. I was a dancer who sang, and I have my degree in dance and musical theater. So singing was sort of like, I can do it, but it wasn't like, this is who I am, until someone paid me to do a demo. And I'm like, you're going to pay me to sing?
All right.
Just sing?
I'll do it.
Okay. And it kind of, I went on from there and got some good training, and it's been a thrill to do both.
Yeah.
I'm telling you though, when I hear Melanie and Billy Stritch play together, it's magical to me, because we also both got to do their show Cast Party in New York.
Yeah, tell them.
For me was a thrill, because I went to go hear Melanie on Broadway with Barry Manilow, and actually delivered the engagement ring, which is really fun. And Melanie kind of debuted at Birdland with Jim showing off and everything. Jim Caruso. We've become dear friends with both of those guys. We love them. But I ended up playing a song with Billy in the band, and it was really, really just a thrill for me to play at Birdland with them.
It was awesome.
Yeah, well, Billy is awesome. Unbelievable talent.
He's unreal.
So anyway, this was most of the people that do the barber show get I only invite them to do one song a piece because it's a long night and I have a lot of different people and blah, blah, blah. But when I had Terry and Melanie, I had them do two. So I was very excited to get them for two songs. And this was their second song that night. And it's so beautiful. I'm so thrilled to share it. So.
Thank you for having us.
You're such a dear. Thank you so much.
Melanie Taylor and Terry Wollman.
I'm so honored. Thank you. Really. First of all, happy birthday, Barbara. And we're really honored to be here with y'all tonight. Project Angel Food is a cause and an organization that's really near and dear to my heart. They helped so many of my friends. This next song, though, interestingly enough, I learned from a Barbra Streisand record called Simply Streisand when I was young, much younger than I am now. And I used to buy records at the thrift store when I was a kid, and I saw this cool record with this lady looking over her shoulder. I'm like, who's that, And it's her, if you didn't know, it's her album of standards. So the first 10 or 12 standards I learned from Barbra Streisand, can't go wrong, right? Okay, so this is The Nearness of You. It's not the pale moon that excites me, that thrills and delights me. Oh no, it's just the nearness of you. Just the nearness of you. When I'm in your arms and I feel you so close.
amazing Terry Wollman and Melanie Taylor. Yay, 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 yay. Now, was that everything I promised it to be? Yes, it was.
Oh,
And
yes,
more.
it was. Yes.
it was a beautiful night. Beautiful night.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, that brings us to the close of our show today.
Okay.
It's so wonderful to see you two. Thank you so much for meeting me here online in cyberspace.
Of course.
And I've wanted to do this with you since the day I met you a little over 3 years ago, and we finally did it. Yay!
Yes, indeed. Oh my gosh.
Before we go,
away.
I want to just run your socials one more time here.
Okay.
So, Terry, you got your website, terrywollman.com.
Yep.
And your Instagram.
At Terry Wollman.
Terry Wollman.
Podcast is called Making It with Terry Wollman.
And the podcast.
New record is Cassini's Last Dance.
Right. And Melanie, your Instagram is?
My Instagram is at @TheRealMelanieTaylor. Taylor. Follow me there. And
then your website is?
Is MelanieTaylorArtist.com.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
And, keep up. Everybody keep up with each other. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, one other thing also. Oh,
ahead.
Melanie's starting a YouTube channel.
Oh,
so
great.
keep an eye out for that. And I have one, and I want to encourage and invite everybody to just come take a look and subscribe. Just takes a second, doesn't cost
Great.
anything, and it really helps artists monetize
Yes.
their music.
Good.
Yes.
All
Because
right.
there's so few venues to do that right now. So please, everybody, subscribe. It really,
Subscribe,
it really
subscribe,
matters. It adds
subscribe.
up for everybody. So we appreciate that. We'll try to put new content up for you regularly, and thank you. And I just want to say, Clifford, we love you dearly. Thank you for everything that you do for us as artists and for this community. You are the backbone of what we do in so many ways. For decades, you've been dedicating yourself selflessly to causes that matter, to people that matter. You give with your whole heart. You are so dedicated, and you're so appreciated. You are so appreciated. So I hope you know that. And from our
that's so
hearts
sweet.
to yours, it's a pleasure to finally sit with you. We miss you.
Yeah.
Miss you
Thank
so
you.
much
Yeah, I
in
miss
person,
seeing you
but
so
we're
much.
so grateful for this opportunity to just sit with you and,
Yes.
and hang out and share and just stay healthy until we can hug your neck again.
The only thing
Your artistry shines through so strongly in
It
all the
does.
work
Thank
that
you
do.
so much. I so appreciate
Yes,
that.
indeed.
Thank you. The only thing our time together has missed is we needed to have lunch in front of us while we were
Right.
having
All
a
I had
meaningful.
was water. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, I didn't have anything even. Thank you guys so much, and the beautiful words from both of you. I so appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
And I did want to promote one little other thing related to stuff I've been doing. What we talked about it earlier. We talked about it earlier in the show. My friend Michael Cullum, who's a wonderful pianist, about the 6-month mark, we were literally losing our minds and saying, we have to make music. And so we pushed his grand piano to the side porch, and we started having these backyard concerts. And we've got a new one coming out in a few weeks. We call
great.
it Virtually Yours with our host, Michael Cullum. And this one has Julia Garnier, who's a phenomenal singer,
Yeah,
and Alex Mohajer, who's an amazing singer, and Katrina, who's an amazing singer, and I do a little, and Michael does a little. And
nice.
it's a fun little thing. And
Great.
I want to thank my co-producer and technical director, Andrew Apple.
Thank you, Andrew.
And
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. And I look forward to seeing you guys in person and hugging your necks.
Can't wait.
And we'll see you all later. Take
Love
care.
you.
We love you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Love you back.